All right, Greta, we'll take it from here with our One Safe Trade Transit Insurance Commerce Sales Tax Incentive Investment Insurance Prepaid Dividend Paying all encompassing civil commerce system with a progressive liberty system that allows the children to get involved and coincide activities with their parents a little more to vote. You know, they ought to be able to vote. And see, I always lose my place because I've had to say this over and over and over and over, and I can't get a real meeting with my current representatives that I had all my grievances with, and now our projected securities in the future do not look secure and are wavering to almost setting up and becoming 100% stagnant and unrepairable. It's going to take a massive, over every platform and every regulation, a slight schedule change. Okay? The ability of representatives is not to vote themselves access to your personal property, establish their securities in salaries and pensions, while every year reevaluating how much of your personal assets they're going to seize for civil commerce. We need to do civil commerce on a prepaid system where travel will have to be the only thing that is taxed. Okay? And you know, in these transactions, sales tax will just, every time we buy something, sell something, we will have it'll be a 5-tier system. First it's got to maintain the township, then it's got to maintain the county, then it's got to maintain the state, and then it's got to maintain the federal government, and then it's got to have a coherent public investment system for our dividends and our retirement, which is exploration primarily and cultivation of consumables. Okay, I want to use this tax to maintain our transportation and our exploration through a bus system at a bare minimum every 2 hours to every single fire department from fire department. At the bare minimum 2 hours. It should be every hour. I mean, okay, 2 hours will work to initiate it in the rural areas. That or build sidewalks and get these cars out of the way so we can have our children with us when we're walking down the road safely. It is not the parent's responsibility at the zoo. The zoo should be impervious to children's activities, short of wire cutters. Where's this state that would allow a 3-foot fence to be the barrier? And then what, a yell? Hey, you, stop! Oh, how many kids don't listen to yells? That's local news, that is right now. But we're talking about trade because Greta and C-SPAN want to know about trade. The One Safe Trade Transit Insurance Commerce Sales Tax Appropriation Accountability Infrastructure Investment Incentives Prepaid Dividend Paying System will help us dust the borders. And my goal is to export our Bill of Rights to the extent that the Second Amendment is an international amendment, and that we don't do trade as a nation with any country that does not maintain the citizenry, the ability to be secure in their personal possessions and adequately, well, I mean, the Second Amendment, period. Because that's the real security to date that has given us our whole civilization since 1800s. If we can maintain that and export that, or not do any trade with these countries, that's all. We don't have to force our way into their house, but we have to stand firm with the values of the Constitution was entailed to illustrate. As we are the children of the rest of the world, we are trying to illustrate that we can be reborn again, and we can seek a more perfect union. So we need to export our Bill of Rights, try to export this tax system, and offer people ability through something we got today that we didn't have 50 years ago. That's all. It don't have to be implanted. For participation in the Social Security system. If you allow citizens all around the world to participate through a debit card to a good Social Security system that offers adequate insurance for all civil commerce. We need to eliminate privately held insurance companies. That's where I'm getting all my resistance, although nobody knows it. Along with the pharmaceutical industry, that combination is putting a stranglehold on us. Okay? So anyhow, we got to get this sales tax system in. We got to ban property tax. We need to ban insurance companies, privately held insurance practices. They should have been the ones who got the bailout, not the people who spent more money than they had on homes. Okay. In retrospect, was not the worst thing you could do. Is just try not to do it. The consumer, if you're willing to buy the junk and get all these recalls, and you're willing, the people who really have money, you are really feeding into a lot of problems in the auto industries. I don't even want to go there. Trade, transit, and insurances. We got to get all of our ducks in a row so we can supersede all the borders and have a steady, progressive plan to accommodate the interest and the intellect of the up-and-comers. Right now, the school is really way behind in my community of anything that is halfway entertaining. There is nothing to keep the spark sparking, especially when you go to these Build Fest or whatever, and there's like one dude sitting there with one little old junkyard looking mechanism. I don't quite get all that. Did we miss the action? I don't know. But I know if I had the tools, I would not be going out here and starting a gas burning car. I'd have a bicycle frame or a pedal car with a big 2-ton flywheel on it, spinning off of pedals and electric pulse, controlled by my newfound friend, the computer. And anybody knows the timing and synchronization of electricity and pulses and mechanized actuators should really appreciate my platform to roll back some of these patent laws, shrink them to where old technologies cannot be repatented and repatented. They got to stop taking away old technology. And I mean, we're getting so good, but I still want my mechanical devices. I don't want to be up on a spaceship and the battery acid leaks out, or somebody drops a teaspoon on and shorts out everything. I want to wind it up and float away. I can see gravity up there. I do understand it's going to have to be on a large, well, I don't know how large it's got to be, what speed, but if you're in gravity, we need to put some more money to all this stuff. We got the tools, we're capable. The only thing that makes it expensive is the lack of the current houses. I mean, have the patent laws. The patent laws. And if you want to keep your trademark and you want to have your royalties off of your intellectual technology, that's fine. We're going to reinforce those laws because you have to have an incentive to innovate. Hunger seems to be a pretty good one. Then you become, okay, I need to go work. But this is trade and transit insurance and common civil securities. And we need to have a fundamental publicity drive as a nation. Not be caught between the elephant and donkey show. Or media. It seems like the commercial media have found a way to stifle even I don't know, we just can't get a little bit of a platform of a real discussion. We have no public platform to discuss legislation and needs and grievances on a confrontamental platform via the new social media platforms. We need to be able to go straight to our representatives. We need to be able to straight engage publicly. Each individual deserves representation. And if a facilitator of a public office cannot facilitate every single communication from their constituents in a timely manner, why can't we have a public platform where we put it in there if it gets so many seconds or likes or whatever, just like it is going to be. We need a public platform to really legitimize our representation system, is what I'm trying to say. I've said this so many times in so many ways, it's not going to be good enough for you until it is really my job and it is really fulfilled. I can over and over and over and over explain myself, but the next time I have to do it, it's going to have to be in public. I guess I need to I don't know, but I don't want to do it over and over and over and over and over in public. That's the great thing about YouTube. But the one safe trade, transit, insurance, commerce, sales tax, appropriation, accountability, infrastructure, investment, incentive system is the only way to progressively grow the economy and conservatively secure personal identities and the ability to self-sustain yourself in your homes and in your space stations and on your celestial bodies across the universe eventually. We don't have to implement something that's flawed that we can change later. We can totally overlay a sales tax system that circumvents all the IRS crap and all the small administrators all the way around the country voting themselves access to our personal property to export our wealth to the stocks and the bonds and the insurance investment markets, making our securities that their liquid discretion. We're going to stop that, and then we're going to invest in our homes like I should have been able to do at age of 15 if I'd had a stable community. But due to the overburdening government development plans and schemes and total destruction of natural preservation heritage farms and agricultural lands, total destruction in my lifetime of a whole county of farms. Total. What do they grow now? A Christmas tree. And what do they do now? Import sickening food. Dead food. The dead food. Anyhow, I'm a card. But we need to do a big change of legislative process here where administrators cannot annually seize property to facilitate a global economy over our abilities to be sovereign, not have to go out here and daily commute and interact with the stinking assholes all the days and be sick every day and pollute our air to maintain a regiment to maintain taxation so you can have a place to live. One way or the other, they want you out here burning gas and burning energy and neglecting your duties of your cultivating your foods and your duties of educating your children. They want you, period, to, oh my gosh, delegate that responsibility to foreign sources that I see as opening us up for compromise. Even the law enforcement have a chain of evidence that has to be maintained. We're going to work on our progressive liberties, I hope, and allow us to vote at 15. That way we're working with our parents and our educating system, coinciding opinions to engage and stay engaged, along with cohabitation abilities. I think that too many young budding romances have been delegated and destroyed, causing the learned behavior of Sally's handshaking things. Okay, I'm not going to go into total detail, but it can be simply refixed. Let them cohabitate at 17, go to college, live together at 17. Stop. We keep putting up these little barriers. When I had a child, it's like you gotta go through all this platform of some concern, complaining, and then you have to anyhow talking about trade, talking about politics, talking about infringement and overstep of social services, which really got me started 4 years ago because they thought I was poor white trash. They were snobby ass, and the mechanism is there for we're forced to delegate our responsibilities to our children to daycares and schools where they're only there for a pension, and I don't know, they were too reclusive to branch out into the public sector after elementary school. Okay. Nobody should be a teacher under 35. Nobody should be a teacher under 35. Except for mothers of children under 3. Or parents, whatever it has to be. Yes, I better go to work, because right now my child has been delegated to be educated, and I have to go out here and try to catch up my arrears in my property taxes, which normally you pay them, you're still behind.